Hi everyone, this is Mig from Sneaks and Ball PH, and today we have a quick look and unboxing on the Jordan Zoom 92. To start things off, I'm not gonna lie, I actually thought this was a performance basketball shoe from Jordan brand, but it turns out this is marketed as a lifestyle shoe, which is kind of weird because when you look at the shoe, it does seem to have a lot of performance basketball features, and I only realized that it was a lifestyle shoe around a few minutes after I paid for the shoe. So I guess, you just live and you learn. However, I really was drawn to the shoe from an aesthetic point of view because the Jordan Zoom 92 incorporates elements from 3 signature shoes from the Nike and Jordan line. So you have the Air Jordan 7, the Nike Air Max 180, and the Nike Air Force 5. It definitely does look like a 90s shoe, so you know that there's a soft spot in my heart for all things that are retro 90s. It is called the Jordan Zoom 92 because it does pay homage to the 1992 Olympics and the Dream Team in Barcelona, which is why you have some Olympic-inspired colorways, such as this one. Then with that out of the way, let's get into the unboxing. So the box on the Jordan Zoom 92 is a standard Jordan sportswear box. So it's pretty much black all the way around with a gold Jumpman here on the lid, a gold Jumpman here on the side, and a gold number 23 here on the other side, as well as your sizing and colorway information. Then now, time to take a peek at the shoes. So opening up the lid, you have your standard Jordan sportswear paper with those gold number 23s. And definitely interesting, definitely very 90s. But you can definitely see how it's a mix of 90s and modern technology. But just putting this aside for a while and getting the right shoe. And as you can see, it's very Team USA with the white, the navy blue, and the little hints of red. Then just closing up the box and getting this shoe right here. And here you have it, guys. This is the Jordan Zoom 92. Starting off with the tech specs, this is actually why I really thought that it was a performance basketball shoe, because the tech specs are pretty much what you would expect from one. So for the outsole, you do have a mix of translucent and solid rubber, with the solid rubber being in this portion under the balls of your feet, and everywhere else you had translucent rubber. You do have a herringbone traction pattern all throughout. Then here at the tip of the toe, you do have these rubber stars, and it pretty much reminds you of some of the old Jordans. And when I did try this out at home, it did seem like it was gripping pretty well. This will definitely be okay for just casually walking around, but I'm really tempted to try these on court if you can actually play basketball in these shoes. Then for the cushion, you do have this full-length injected Phylon midsole, and these 2 large volume zoom units here in the forefoot that are sort of like the Nike Zoom BB NXTs or the Nike LeBron 17 highs. If you're just looking at it from a tech spec perspective, which I did when I was on the Nike site, it definitely does seem like a performance shoe, but then when you try it on, you can sort of understand why this is a lifestyle shoe and not a performance basketball shoe, because this injected Phylon midsole is actually really chunky, especially here at the heel, and it thins out a lot here in the forefoot, giving you this very sloped feeling when you're in the shoe, and that's sort of like how the Air Max 2090s feel like, or if you've ever tried the Air Max 270s, then it feels pretty similar to that, and I really don't think that that's a good thing when we're talking about performance basketball. But for lifestyle purposes, it's fine. Surprisingly also, you really can't feel those gigantic zoom units. So you can't feel any bounciness and springiness, which is kind of weird because these zoom units are gigantic. But what you can feel is the plushness of that injected Phylon, especially here in the heel. It's definitely a comfortable cushion setup, but the zoom units in the forefoot really don't do much right now. But hopefully they do break in over time and you can have that bouncy underfoot feeling. Then for the materials, there actually is so much going on with the upper of the shoe, because it is a mix of old school materials and new school materials. So here on the toe, you have this nice white leather, and it actually is really soft and does feel pretty premium in hand. And I just really enjoy it when brands put good leather on the shoes, because it does make you feel like you got what you paid for. Then here on the lateral and medial side of the forefoot, you do have this synthetic leather that is this shiny metallic color, and it's also pretty soft as well. You have this rubbery piece here on the lateral side, and some ripstop material as well. This ripstop material has definitely become very popular over the years because it is super lightweight. Then here on the lateral and medial midfoot panels, you do have this mesh. And then here near the ankle and middle eyelets, you do have a little bit of fuse. Then near the heel of both the lateral and medial side, you do have this really thin synthetic nubuck. You also have this large heel piece that I think is a leather with a plastic sheet on it. And that's pretty interesting because I don't really see that done very often. Because you know, why put a plastic sheet over the cut of material if you could have just like made it plastic all the way through. Then also here at the back, you have this nylon pull tab and this stitched in rubber triangle. You also have a little more rubber here on the top two eyelets. Then for the tongue, it does have this really plush neoprene. And then here at the top of the tongue, it has this thin foam back mesh. You also have mesh here on the sock liner. And lastly, you have some round laces, but you know, they kind of have edges to them, so not really sure if they're round or if they're square, but it is definitely a weird style of laces. Then for fit and sizing, I did go true to size and it fit me pretty much 1-to-1. I didn't feel like there was any dead space throughout the shoe, but you know, this is a lifestyle shoe, so I think most people don't really want that really snug fit like a performance basketball shoe, so it really depends on your personal preference. If you tend to like having a looser fit on your casual shoes, then you should definitely go up half a size. However, if you're looking for that snug fit, or if you want to try and play basketball in these like I do, then going true to size is the way to go. Then if you are a wide footer, the midsole is heavily sculpted, so I would recommend going up half a size or maybe even a full size up. Then for the aesthetic details of the shoe, you do have a predominantly translucent outsole with that navy blue portion underneath the Zoom Air. This solid rubber portion does have large embossed Zoom branding on it. Then here on the midfoot, you do have this large navy blue Nike Air logo. And lastly, here on the heel, you have this large red Jumpman. Then here on the midsole, you do have that visible Zoom Air here in the forefoot. And then the injected phylon is split between white and navy blue. And then you also have some air branding here at the back. Then here on the lateral side, you do have this red rubber support piece. And just above that, you do have that ripstop material, but you do have some navy blue netting underneath. On the toe, you have that really clean white leather. And then on the sides of the forefoot, you do have that silver synthetic that has a slight metallic sheen. You then have this blue TPU swoosh that actually goes under the white TPU. And that is a cool look that you have this sort of cut Nike swoosh. And then you also have the same effect on the other side, however the swoosh is a lot smaller and it's white instead of blue. And then here on the side, you do have some red Zoom Air branding, and this is the original Zoom Air logo, and I just really like this throwback logo because in my opinion it's still a lot better than the new Zoom Air branding that they replaced it with. Then on the opposite side, you have a Jumpman that's in red as well. Then here at the back, you do have that plastic coated leather piece, and then you have that triangle with the number 9 on it, which is directly lifted from the Jordan 7. This pays homage to the Jordan 7 Olympic because that also had Jordan's number 9, which is his number for the Olympics. And of course, the triangles and the number follow the red, white, and blue color scheme. Then both that nylon pull tab as well as these rubber lace loops are navy blue. Then you have white on the neoprene portion of the tongue. Then you have navy blue here on the tongue. Then here at the topmost portion of the tongue, you have a little bit of red. Then on the tongue as well would have to be my favorite detail, and that's the gold Jumpman. This gold here on the tongue is a really nice touch because of course the 92 Dream Team won gold in the Olympics, so it's just a small tribute to that. Then lastly, you do have a gray sock liner as well as a navy blue Jumpman on the insole. Then for the overall aesthetics, I just really like how this concept turned out because most of the time it really doesn't work when you take inspiration from other shoes and then mix it into a sort of classic looking shoe, then mixing in new materials, because Jordan Brand has definitely tried that and failed, and you know, even Nike has done this and Adidas, you know, just taking heritage things and just making them look new again and then just crashing and burning. I know this isn't gonna be that popular because, you know, it's not a Jordan 1 or any of the classic Jordans. It's not even the Jordan 7, even though it was inspired by it. But for what it's worth, I think that the shoe looks really nice and it just comes together really well. You do have that traditional red, white, and blue, but you also have some additional cool hits like the translucent outsole, that silver here on the forefoot panels, and that gold on the Jumpman on the tongue. I really think that they designed this shoe very well because, you know, it does really look very 90s, but you can also see the modern aspects of the shoe, such as the visible Zoom Air in the forefoot and that mesh TPU and ripstop material. So sound off in the comment section down below if you like this shoe and if, you know, you want to cop it, because for me it really mixes retro with modern really well, so I'd like to hear your thoughts. Then for the price, the Jordan Zoom 92 retails for 7,795 pesos or $150 US. As I said, this is a lifestyle oriented shoe, and is it worth $150 US? I'm not exactly sure. On one hand, you have a little bit of premium material with this leather here at the toe, and then you have those two giant zoom units in the forefoot. But on the other hand, you do have some basic feeling materials as well, such as the mesh here at the back. And even if you do have those massive zoom units, I really can't feel them underfoot. Maybe if they retailed for 6,795 or around $20 less, then it would be well worth the money. However, like I said, there isn't too much hype surrounding this shoe, so I'm 95% sure that this will end up going on sale in a couple of months. There are 4 colorways of the shoe, and the only colorway that's missing a few sizes would be the black and red one. But for 3 out of the 4 colorways of the Jordan Zoom 92, they're available in all sizes. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description box down below to Nike's website so you can grab a pair if this is your jam. So there you have it, guys. That was my quick look and unboxing on the Jordan Zoom 92. If you liked the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Then if you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions for any future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below as well. Then if you haven't already yet, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications. It would help us out a lot here at Sneaks and Ball PH.